today we're going to make Easter cupcakes. So I'm going to show you the ingredients you need and we can get started. Preheat your oven to 325 before we get started. And you also need a mixer. If you don't have, you know, a KitchenAid mixer or stand-up mixer, I should say, you can always use a handheld mixer. That's fine as well, but you definitely need to preheat your oven. The ingredients you'll need are 2½ cups of flour, 1 cup of granulated sugar, 2 sticks of cold butter chopped. Okay, you'll need 1/4 cup of milk, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and we need 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And you will need 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 4 eggs. First, we're going to add the butter, and that will be your 2 sticks of butter cut up. And we are going to, on a low speed, cream this butter until it is nice and soft. And when it starts to get a little more blended, then we'll speed it up to a medium speed. Okay, now that the butter is light and fluffy, it should almost look white, like the color. Once you know you've reached the texture you need it to be, and the consistency is once it's fluffy. So once we do that, then we're going to add the sugar, and we're going to add the sugar a little bit at a time. So we're going to put it on a low speed. We're going to start, and we're just going to add a little bit, let that mix in, and we're going to take it up a notch. And we can add a little more. You can do it to about a teaspoon or so at a time. Add another. And you just keep adding a teaspoon or so at a time until you're totally, you know, down to the bottom of the 1 cup of sugar. And it's very important how you add it because it makes a difference in how your batter is going to come out. And I will show you that at the end. And you can start to see with the sugar being added that the texture is changing a bit. I'm going to stop the mixer just so you guys can see out there. This is really what we want it to look like. And at that point, I'm just going to reach in there with my spatula. And you want to kind of scrape the sides of the bowl. And I'm going to scoop some of this up so you all can see what the consistency should be like. Do you see how white the sugar and the butter is? This is called a creaming method in the pastry world, and this is exactly what you want. You want to scrape down those sides real good. You want to get in there, and then you know you just want to kind of get it off the paddle a little bit. And after we scrape this down a bit, we're going to start it back up, but we are going to add our eggs, and you need to add them one at a time, and we want to crack them into a separate bowl just to make sure that there is nothing in your eggs, no your egg is good. You always want to have another bowl for your egg. So you add that egg one at a time, and you want to have a trash bowl always. So we're going to start that at a medium speed. We're going to blend that, and we're going to add all 4 eggs one at a time. Lower that speed on your mixer, and you just want to add that second egg in there, and then you want to just speed it up a little bit to a medium speed. Lower that speed again, and we're just going to add that 3rd egg right on in there. And mix it on up to a medium speed once again. And we just want to slow it down a bit and add our very last egg. So we're going to add our 4th egg. We're going to speed it up a little bit. Do this each time for about maybe a good 30 to 40 seconds, okay? And then you want to cut it off. We just want to, you know, take that mixer, and we want to scrape the sides of our bowl again with our spatula, which is fantastic. You just want to make sure that you get all that egg mixed in there, because it's very important to get everything mixed in. And you just want to make sure you get all of that. Just gonna get it all, and then we're gonna just crank up the speed a little bit. Gonna lift your bowl up and crank up that speed. Nice, exactly what we want. We're just gonna do that for about 1.5 minutes. We just want to put it on a low speed, and you want to add in your vanilla, and you want to add in your milk, and we just want that to incorporate at a medium speed. And then once that's all incorporated, we are going to add our dry ingredients. So we're going to stop that for a second. We're going to drop it down, and we're going to just add in our flour. We're just going to get it all in there. Add your flour. Nice. We're going to add in that flour. And we are going to add in our baking powder and our salt. If you have anything on your paddle, use your spatula and just kind of scrape that off right in there. It's going to all get mixed in anyway, but you just want to make sure you get everything off there, everything in there. Okay, so then we are going to mix that on the medium, you know, until it's all nice and blended. This is what your batter should look like, your cake batter. It should be a nice thick consistency, not runny. And you just want to take an ice cream scooper, or you can even use a spoon. So we're going to start getting ready, and we're going to move on to the next step. You just want to take your ice cream scooper, and you just kind of want to scoop your batter, if you have a little spoon or a spatula, right in there, because that should be about the amount that you want. It should almost be like just about midway. So that's what you want right there. And you just continue to do that for each cupcake until we fill them. So So this is what it should look like. You should have an individual cupcake liner into each cupcake slot for, you know, for your filling. And this is what it should look like. And then we're going to just go over and we're going to bake them at 325 for about 35 to 40 minutes. And then we're going to take them out. We're going to let them cool. And then I'll show you guys how to top them. You just want to bake your cupcakes about 325 for about 35 to 40 minutes. And you can put them on the second shelf. And that'll be fine, just not too close to the bottom. So that'll be fine, like midway up. And there we go. So I took the cupcakes out the oven and I gave them a chance to cool. I have a cooling rack here. And now we're just about to ice them. You can let them cool for about a good, 10 to 15 minutes. And then you can go back and start icing your cupcakes. So here we have marshmallow chickens that I got that we can use to top the cupcakes. I have found some nice colored sugar. You can use any color you like. We have some jelly beans and some edible grass that you can see right here. And if you don't have edible grass, you can use coconut. Coconut's always a good substitute if you can't find these things in your local store. And you can dye the coconut as well, and you just let it dry out and it's fine. It still holds the taste and it's perfect. I also have some green icing that I did, cream cheese icing. I used a little bit of green food coloring, just like 2 drops, mixed it in, and that's just a little different take on it for your cupcakes. And in my piping bag, I have a nice cream cheese icing that I'm going to use for the topping. And also I have these cute little yellow edible little chickens, and these are just little things that you could find. You could really put anything you want on the top. Take our piping bag. You can get these bags anywhere at AC Moore, Walmart, any one of your local, little, stores like that. If you don't have a piping bag, you can use a Ziploc bag. You can cut the tip of it and fill it with your icing and just go. And for me, we're just gonna go around. We're gonna start in a little circle and we're just gonna go around and around. Oh, we got a little drop there and around. You don't really have to overload too much on the icing because we are going to add a couple little cute little trinkets to put on there. So I have the edible grass that I cut up, and I am just going to add a few little pieces on my cupcake for the topper. You just want to sprinkle a little bit on there. You can have it as long as you like. You can do whatever you like to your cupcake. I kind of like to just get in there and and play around, and you could just use your imagination and you would be amazed at what you could create. And actually it looks really, really nice when it's all said and done. I think it's so adorable and your kids will love this. I know my kids, as I'm baking, they can never wait. They always want to just dig right in there and eat everything before I could even get a chance to have it all on a cupcake. So with that, I'm just gonna add a few jelly beans. You can just take a handful and you could just add them in there. It's so cute. It's so cute. I can't wait. It just looks like you went and you paid a fortune, and you didn't even have to. This is something so easy that you could just do at home. Just add a few in there with your finger. And then here's a nice little chickie if you want to just add a chicken in there. And and there we have that. That's just one idea. So here's our little cupcake. And it's just so cute. It's cute, especially for kids for school. So what I did was I grabbed my spoon here and I'm mixing up this cream cheese icing, and I added a little food coloring, which you can get at your local store, any market. They should have it. You could add whatever color you like. I added green just because it's Easter, and if you don't want to do the edible grass, you can always just do the food coloring with the icing. And you can take the back of a spatula if you don't have a piping bag, and it's really easy. You just smooth it on right around and around. You just continue to move your cupcake in that circular motion, and you just add the icing right on, and it actually looks really great. I mean, you can add a few other things to it too. You can add some sprinkles, and that's even cute like that. You don't even have to do anything. I actually have some very nice colored sugars, and I just think it's so pretty to do this, to add sugar. If we could just get it open, that would be great. You could sprinkle it along like so, and I think that's pretty. And I have some blue here. You know, I think that's gorgeous. I just think it gives your cupcake a whole different feel. You know, so it's just so many little things that you could do, you know. Okay, so you just squeeze and you let your wrist do the work, and you go back and forth like so. And I'm just gonna stop right there, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm just gonna add a little more of my green icing that I dyed. I'm just gonna smooth that right on, nice and even, and just kind of shape off my cupcake a little bit there. And you know, like I said, the kids will love that. I'm gonna do that, and it looks great. And what we're gonna do here is I want to add a little bit of color. So you know what, I think I'm gonna add some of the purple just on it, and that looks pretty itself. And you know, you can add a couple of the jelly beans. You know, I just think that's so nice. I think the kids will love this. It's just so much fun for Easter. So here you go. These are some great ideas that you could do with your kids, or if you got to bake something for school, as I said, or just something, you know, you could do as a nice little treat for them. Here's a sneak peek at what we're going to be doing next week. We're going to be doing quick breads in a jar. So I just wanted to show you guys, look, there's a recipe on here and what type of bread we'll be making. And this is a great idea if you want to give a gift and bake it with love.